And then I saw her face. I'm a believer, and not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love.
Hey guys, SoHD here, and I am back with another reaction video. And today I'm going to be reacting to After the Fact, Flash Sentry, and Applejack Appreciation. So yeah, these are After the Fact extras from MLP-Silver-Quill. And I'm going to start off with the Flash Sentry one. So yeah, let's jump it in! Sorry, I was just turning it down a little bit. Oh! What? Is he gonna slaughter him?
You know, I enjoy comedic exaggeration as much as the next guy, but kumbaya, this got dark. Come on, you, up and at him.
Oh.
Okay,
I thought something dark was gonna happen.
Past videos knows that I've been less than gentle with Flash Sentry. And when I've done so, there's often been a comment or two asking why people hate this character. Now, it's true that
I was
I'm
wondering,
not a fan,
why do people hate
yet the question is, why not? After all, I've often mentioned a desire to see male characters in a more positive light. You'd think I'd be on board with a potential love interest. So before I review Equestria Girls and Rainbow Rocks, I'm going to try and figure out what it is about this guy that sets people, including myself, off. Without guest commentary. I still have a huge axe nearby.
This song, Flash by Queen, loved it.
Seriously, we're going there?
Yep.
Let's just get this train wreck a-rolling. So, how to start with this guy? Or is it this guy? Wait, what am I supposed to do here? I can't keep referring to these two as Pony Flash Sentry and Human Flash Sentry. I'm too lazy for that. Okay, you're Flash Sentry and the other guy's Brad. It's the only way to keep this sensible. And it's important to make this distinction between them because I don't want to view them as one and the same. But why not? Equestria Girls made an effort to enforce this idea, right down to their dialogue.
We've got to stop bumping into each other like this.
Whoa! Dude, that's creepy.
Indeed, little dragon. I can roll with the idea of similar personalities between pony and human versions, yet the thought of making them interchangeable is kinda creepy. I enjoyed seeing Twilight meet her human friends because, more often than not, they met under unique circumstances. These were new friendships, even if the personalities were familiar. Twilight met both Flash and Brad in the exact same manner, so I view the two as the only interchangeable characters in the movie. And to be honest, most of the
I am kind of concerned.
is based on
Why
the personality of Brad,
do
who
people
is a goody two-shoes.
Equestria Girls Flash Sentry Brad
nice that I really can't resent him. Oh, he's generically nice to the point of boredom. Yet this is a show where male characters are often generically selfish,
I wouldn't think that Brad would be considered
I feel like I should be glad that Brad has a sense of right and wrong and is willing to help when the chance arises. Which begs the question, why wasn't he allowed to help more? No point in tiptoeing around this issue. There is this belief in entertainment that a show or game targeted at a specific gender cannot be for
the fake evidence because
we see this rhetoric in Assassin's
Flash
Creed
likes
Unity. We see it in My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. We will see it for decades.
Don't you guys remember the fourth movie?
So I guess I'm
Since
not
they convinced Flash to let
the odd gender politics that are turning
pony
you into
Twilight
a chance. But hey, this is a fandom that's given
Because Twilight's a
personalities
pony
to many background ponies.
The Equestria Girls Flash Sentry lives in
what do we know
the
about
human
Flash
world?
Sentry that might help flesh him out? Well, Caden said he had just recently joined the Guard, yet by Three's a Crowd he was part of a royal escort. And he is the announcer for royalty. That's gotta be a place of prominence.
I kind of wish they made more Equestria Girls specials. Like the short specials
so peaceful
where
and it's protected by a
Flash and Sunset get back together.
So not a lot of opportunities to prove your mettle. And you've caught the eye of a princess, even though she hasn't said one word to you specifically. Ever. Dude, you don't have any conflicts. With all the background ponies this fandom has adopted, each one had a moment that sparked our imagination. We ask why these ponies are acting this way, and then it's off to headcanon country from there. With Flash, the biggest nugget of info came in Pinkie Pride and Twilight Time, where we saw a Colt who could pass for his sibling, and I saw a rise in Flash's popularity as fans love to depict him as an awesome big brother.
Yeah, they do look kind of similar.
He seem to stand out as a character because he has no visible challenges or goals. And your human counterpart, well, He's basically a collection of 3 separate cliches. He dresses like a rebel and plays the guitar, which
3
seems to
separate
satisfy
cliches.
the bad boy attraction that will
Of
never
course, a
make
Flash
sense to
Sentry
me.
who
But
is
he
a
also has
guard,
financial stability,
and
as shown by the nice car
a
with
Flash
the leafy
Sentry
decal.
who is a
And
rocker.
he's kind to Twilight and oh so timid in asking her out. And when he's love-struck, he becomes the clumsy goof. So he's a goof,
Yeah,
a rebel
since
bad
he
boy, and a sweet
accidentally
supportive
ran
type.
into that wall.
I have no idea how he's avoided
Or
exploding
just
from
walked
the
into it. I wouldn't say
convergence.
ram. Because if you ran
We're gonna need
yourself
a new
into a wall,
Brad.
then your teeth will fall out.
And speaking of explosives, why in the holy hand grenade are you yellow? Answer, because you were made for Twilight. Well, okay, you're more of a yellow-orange, but either way, it's time for some color theory. You know the basic structure of the color wheel, right? We start off with our primaries, mix those together to get our secondaries, and if you really want to go crazy, mix those together to get the tertiary colors. And when you focus on one color, you'll find its complement on the opposite curve. In the case of violet, like a certain alicorn we know, its natural complement is yellow. But wait, the show already has both a yellow and orange themed character, so we'll have to go for the compromise.
Flash has
with
yellow and-
orange. Flash and Brad were
and
literally
Applejack
made
is
for
orange.
Twilight. He has no identity outside this relationship. And because he only interacts with Twilight, there's little reason for him to develop any kind of dynamic with other characters. I still marvel at the designer's choice to make you a stock Pegasus. That's rare for a named stallion.
I wish I could do that
Though
move.
I guess you're a little more unique since you're based on one of Celestia's stormtroopers. Whenever we've met male
Stormtroopers?
characters who enjoy a unique position, i.e. it's at least worth acknowledging their names, it's usually someone who's built different from the average background pony. Flash falls into a category of ponies who are based on the background design, yet have been given accessories to help distinguish them. So here's the contradiction. From his first appearance in Equestria Girls, it's implied that Twilight is attracted to Flash based on his good looks. Yet from the audience's perspective, there's nothing truly exceptional beyond his armor. And as someone who thinks very highly of Twilight's character, I find it disappointing that her entire attraction is based on looks. It seems less of love at first sight and more just a shortcut. I'd love to see some genuine interaction between these two, something to say this is more than a crush. Of course, about 5,000 waifu whalers would disagree.
5,000
Yes,
waifus?
Sentry will steal your
What?
waifu. Or will he? Whether you're for Flash
Calm it
or
down,
against
bro.
them, we all seem to assume that Twilight's first visible crush will turn out to be her one true love. If you support the idea of Flash and Twilight, I'm not trying to dissuade you. In fact, I hope that fans of this couple can produce even better stories and artwork. The problem sets in when people become so attached to the idea of a couple that they think that any other opinion is an attack on what they like. Or they insist that you have to follow this couple because the show said so. If you like the idea of Twilight being with a different stallion, there's no reason to feel like you have to give that up. We watch this show because we enjoy it, but don't let the show or the fandom tell you what you can and cannot like. All I ask is that we be respectful when we disagree, as any fandom will. You know, Flash, when I list all this out, I don't resent you as a character or the potential you represent. It's more a sense of frustration that we're asked to accept that you're this really awesome guy, yet due to restrictions, we never get to see that develop. And I hope that maybe the IDW comics can give that chance, because I'm not expecting such from the show or movies. Does this mean that I'll stop giving you a hard time? Oh my gosh, have you even met me? I've already streamlined the process. I'm Silver-Quill, and I am a magnificent troll. Thanks for watching.
Oh, I wonder if this is a remix. It just said right there, it is a remix. Okay, so, yeah, that was amazing, yeah. We talked about, Flash's color change and how, and why they hate Flash so much, and the name difference. Equestria Girls Flash Sentry as Brad, and the pony Flash is just Flash. I'm not sure how the human name of Flash Sentry is going to be Brad, and the pony name is just going to be Flash itself. I mean, I like Flash. And to those of you who haven't seen Channel 1985's reaction to Equestria Girls, you know, the very first one, he was pretty curious of why people hate Flash Sentry. So that shows proof that he likes that character. I mean, I'm glad I'm not the only one who likes Flash Sentry. I mean, there could be other people. Sorry about that, guys. I was about to sneeze. And as I was saying, I am glad that I'm not the only one who likes Flash Sentry. Yeah, of course, Shamel does like Flash Sentry, and I bet there are some other people who might like Flash Sentry. Whew. So people aren't going to start hating on me that I like Flash Sentry. Anyways, let's get on with the next one, which is Applejack Appreciation. Okay, give me a minute, guys. Okay, I got the Applejack Appreciation one all set up. So, oh yeah, I am glad that I reacted to this one because Applejack's my favorite character. And yes, I really love her, so I wonder how Silver-Quill is going to take her as a result in a whole review video. So, let's jump right in! We're apples to the core.
What? She's one of my favorite characters. You didn't
Mine
think I missed
too,
out
man.
on this, did
Mine
you?
too.
When Equestria Daily announced an Applejack Appreciation Day, it gave me a chance to think about her role
Applejack
in the
with
show
the
and how
chicken.
the fandom views her. Applejack ranks low on most fan polls, and she's been labeled a background pony and half jest. Yet I think the show would be weakened if she weren't around, and she doesn't have to be the
I would
most
think so
prominent
too.
pony to have the biggest
The show
impact.
would be weak if
So
she
join
wasn't
me as we
around.
take a look at Applejack and see how she fits into the larger story, right after I finish one more lap around the town.
Apples together.
When I started watching, I didn't pay much mind to Applejack. Her accent seemed more like a gimmick, and I thought she was pretty one-note.
I got apple pie, apple fritters, taking more apples to my new apple cellar. Apple tarts, apple dumplings, apple crisp. I bet they're apple bucking their way through the red delicious trees. Apple crumblers and apple brown Betty.
I swear by Celestia's horn extender, I will see Applejack eat a strawberry. Yet as with so many elements on this show, I gained a different appreciation with time.
I'm pretty sure
Rather
Applejack
than
will
seeing her
never
as
try a
one
strawberry.
note, I saw her as one stable pony. Out of all the main six, Applejack is
Of
the
course
most
it
mature
is.
and even
Applejack
tempered.
versus
And that was
Strawberry
true even
Sunrise.
before the show aired. Yeah, sounds crazy, but
I'd
hear
go
me
for
out.
Applejack.
According to the show's development bible, each of the main six was originally designed to be an updated G1 character. There was an Applejack in G1 as well, and we'll be getting to that
It was great.
when I'm good and drunk. Only Applejack's design remained consistent from concept to production, which I take as a sign that the staff understood her role more clearly than any other character. In a cast of eccentrics, Applejack is the stabilizing force. She's
Yeah, I
the
didn't
pony in
take
hand to
the
keep a group in
G1
check and
Applejack
prevent them from
very
going
well.
overboard. Applejack's
You
friends are
know,
able to go
the,
crazy, be risky, and be bombastic
no
because there's at least
ponytail,
one pony who will pull them out
no
of the fire
hat.
and back into sanity. So what happens when Applejack
didn't
herself
take
has the
her
problem?
really well.
It's a rare event and pretty hard to pull off, given that she only seems to have two vices. The first being moments where she is completely unreasonable. I have to say, usually there's no motivation for why. I can accept that every pony was afraid of Sakura at first, yet Applejack's fear was emphasized to make Apple Bloom look more reasonable. And in Some Pony to Watch Over Me, her concerns for Apple Bloom were pushed too far to an extreme. The best way to make Apple Bloom look reasonable is to make her sister bonkers? Not a fan of that idea. The other vice is Applejack's stubbornness, and I do hear other fans when they say this conflict has been overdone. Yet like Fluttershy's, well, shyness, I view this as part of Applejack's character and it can't be overcome in just one episode. It's a gradual process with some regression, so I expect we'll be seeing more cases of her being stubborn in the future. And to be honest, that stubbornness can help the story, especially
do
when she
love
acts against
Applejack,
the foil.
but I don't love
When I think
Applejack's
about episodes
stubbornness.
where the characters are paired off, I notice a trend. Usually the ponies are only together for a couple of scenes before being separated, or we break away from one odd couple to focus on another. With Applejack, she can sustain an entire episode with another character. This is especially true with Rarity and Rainbow Dash. And from Pinky Apple Pie, I'd say that Applejack can match the Pink Pony's exuberance with her own brand of
You know,
enthusiasm.
there is a video
The only pony who I'm not sure she
where
can pair off with is
we
Fluttershy,
decide
given that the
if
only time they've come
Applejack's
into
the best
conflict has
pony
been
or
bad.
Rarity's the best
There,
pony.
Applejack's stubbornness made her
I'd go
seem
for
like a
Applejack
bully.
because she's my favorite.
Hey, maybe that's something to witness in Season 5 or beyond. Applejack trying to help Fluttershy's confidence. Or Fluttershy teaching Applejack to be more patient with animals.
These vampire bats are nothing but a bunch of monsters. Get back here, you thieving varmints! Apologize? He's lucky I didn't call him a varmint.
Ah well, she may not get along with critters, yet I'm always glad to see Applejack interact with her 3 family members. Yeah, they're a package deal. Anything focusing upon
a family
Applejack
wouldn't
will
be
also
better
feature
without
her count.
parents.
And for some, that's a detraction since it means that Applejack will never truly get the spotlight to herself. I
do
enjoy it
hope in
since
an
she's the member of the main
episode
6 most
where,
likely to explore family
parents
issues,
will be brought back,
disagreements,
then they'll be
history, the
family
making
again.
of memories. AJ's covered a far-ranging gamut. Rarity and Sweetie Belle had the best sister-themed episode in my eyes. Yet even there, Applejack and Apple Bloom helped to show the range of dynamics between sisters. My only regret is that the show hasn't covered a lot of Applejack's relationship with Big Macintosh. I get that this show is aimed at girls and therefore be inclined to talk about sisters, but here's the thing. Girls can have brothers too. Even if that doesn't happen, we get to see little dynamics that still make the Apple family fun, for which I'm grateful. Because there's another aspect to Applejack that I enjoy, the fact that she lives for Ponyville. At first, it sounds like Applejack has the same issue I mentioned with Flash Sentry, being defined by relationships. Yet I think it's something different with Applejack. I can define Applejack's character: direct, honest, hardworking, very traditionalist, sometimes inflexible. Can't do that with old Flash in the pan. I think it's more a question of setting. As the head of the Apple family, Applejack is closely tied to the town. I'd go so far as to say she's the heart of Ponyville. I think that's why so many of her episodes revolve around stubbornness. Rather than trying to show her facing a lack of power, we see her having to let go. Problem is, that can be less endearing than seeing a character hit rock bottom. Only 2 episodes have shown her truly out of place. The last roundup was the only episode to send her away from Ponyville and therefore away from her power base. Yet the story unfolded from her friends' perspectives, leaving Applejack a mystery that I figured out in the first 3 minutes. So there wasn't much chance to empathize with her. A better opportunity was Applejack's flashback in the Cutie Mark Chronicles. Favorite Cutie Mark story, by the by. We got to see young Applejack in a situation where she didn't know what to do and had nothing to fall back on until she figured out where she truly belonged. So, to have an episode where Applejack is truly the underdog, pony, she'd need to be away from Ponyville, away from her family, and away from her friends. Yeah, good luck scripting that. Ah well, not every pony has to compete for the central spotlight, and if Applejack had Pinkie Pie's fourth wall senses, I doubt that she'd be in a huff about it either. Yet, I like thinking about Applejack Appreciation because it's a parallel to real life. And how I'd like to give a high five to all the hard workers out there. Educators, firefighters, parents, community leaders, the list goes on and on.
And even
they don't
warriors.
get parades or much by way of thanks, yet we'd be lost without them. I see Applejack as a representation of a real-life factor, as I do with a lot of good stories. She may not be the standout member, yet how much would this series be diminished if she weren't around? So hail to thee, Applejack, and to all the hard workers out there. You may not get the spotlight as much as you deserve, yet the world wouldn't be the same without you. And to close this out, there is but one song fit enough for this centered, yet silly pony.
Who's a silly pony? You're a silly pony. Who is you? Is Applejack. Bumping into gates and knocking over fences. Who is you? Is Applejack. All day long you trot around, looking at the apples on the trees.
Yeah, Applejack is pretty silly at times.
Licking lips so greedily. Who's a silly pony? You're a silly pony. Who is you? Is Applejack. Bumping into gates and knocking over fences. Who is you? Is Applejack. Who's a silly pony? You're a silly pony. Who is you? Is Applejack. Bumping into gates and knocking over fences. Who is you? Is Applejack.
You deserve this, AJ. Okay.
Welcome!
Wait. What did you say? What'd she say?
You're welcome!
Oh, you're welcome too, AJ. Whew. That was amazing. Wow. Yes, Applejack. Yep, she's my girl, guys. She's my girl. And at the end, we could consider her a silly pony. Like running into fences with cucumbers on her eyes. She's just falling onto stuff without even noticing it. And of course, trotting around with balls of cider on her head. Yeah, and I do enjoy how Applejack is appreciative. But the thing about Applejack I don't like about her is her stubbornness. I wouldn't love Applejack if she was just so stubborn all the time. But I still love her. Whew. Anyways, I'm going to end it off here, guys. Once again, guys, thanks for watching, and ahoy!